Hello, and yet another warm welcome to another Tuesdays at 2. This is a very special Tuesdays at 2 because it's my 100th. Yes, 100th. It's actually hard to believe I've been sitting on this chair or another chair I used earlier on in the broadcast for 100 episodes. They fly by very fast. I actually took 18 weeks off for health reasons. So really, it should be 118. But this is the 100th episode. So I'm really excited to be with you here today. Each week, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I share a different topic on executive career management. So hopefully, those of you that tune in every week will gain a lot of benefit to manage and advance your career. So the information I share will help you manage your career. So today's topic is, and I'm going to reflect a little bit at the end of this Tuesdays at 2 on what I've learned about live streaming and what I've learned about sharing my deep knowledge on executive career management. But we'll get on with today's episode, which is a radical career change. Is it possible? That is a great question. So Nelson Mandela has a great quote. The great Nelson Mandela. He said, "It always seems impossible till it's done. It always seems impossible till it's done." So what's that quote going to tell you? Yes, you can. My professional opinion as an executive career management practitioner is yes, you can change. And I'm going to give you some tips and tricks today to gear you up if you are considering a career change. Not a career transition, but a career change. You're going into a different function, different. So please make some comments. Anybody got any questions on executive management just generally? Doesn't have to be related to today's topic. Please pop them in the comments below and I will answer them as we go through this Tuesdays at 2. Don't be shy. This is your show. This is not mine. I'm just sharing my information, my vast knowledge on executive career management with you, but I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you may have on career management generally, whether it be personal branding, interviews, resumes, CVs, cover letters, LinkedIn, other social media platforms. How to brand yourself is a big topic these days because we are entering what could be a recession, and you need to brand yourself because you want to be considered number one. So put that in there. Anybody wants to know anybody about how to personal brand, etc., I'm more than happy to answer that as we go through this Tuesdays at 2. So yes, it is possible. It is possible to shift, but it's not possible to shift if you round two sides of a square. You can go up and around, but you couldn't go up, across the top and back down again. You have to do it in phases. So if you really want a massive, radical change, you have to take a phased approach. And of course, that doesn't happen overnight. Well, in fact, job search per se doesn't happen overnight. You have to plan it. It's like anything. You have to pre-plan your attack. You are in a race and if you're going to transition into another profession, you are competing with people who are already entrenched, already in that profession, that discipline. So you are going to have to be extra sharp in delivering a powerful message to key decision makers, whoever they may be. So please feel free to put any comments in the comments below, and I'm more than happy to answer them as we go through this. So yes, of course, it is possible. Many of my clients have made phased or radical changes over the years, but they have planned that attack. It's a project. It's a long project, and there's it's like a jigsaw. All the parts of the jigsaw have to be in for you to be successful. So one part of that jigsaw, one part of that project, and you could lose out. So it's a time investment. It can be a financial investment. And I'll tell you where perhaps you should make your financial investment as we go through this Tuesdays at 2. So, yes, you can make a radical change. Today, of all the times, the economy right now, don't know what it's going to be like next month or the month after because there's the gloom and doom on the economic forefront. But you there today, you can find a job reasonably easy because of the talent shortage. And therefore, if you can find a job reasonably easy in your discipline to move professions, to move careers to the left or to the right, yes, you can do it. And it's a lot easier than it has been ever before. But if the economy sinks, then that will be a lot harder. I really admire people, my clients who come to me and say, Martin, I want to make a radical career change. I want to make a career change. I want to go up the ladder. I have lots of ambition. I have lots of drive. And they express that to me. That really is, as a coach, that is very, very exciting. And I like to help them. I like to nurture and help and coach them through that phased approach. So you need to stand out from the rest. I sort of alluded to that a couple of minutes ago. Even when you're going up the ladder within your own discipline, you need to make yourself stand up. You want to be considered number one throughout the whole process. Don't slip to number two because there is no trophy for number two. You're not going to win at number two. You're only going to win at number one. So think about if you want to go up the ladder or you want to go to the right, to the left, you want a radical change or a career change, you have to brand yourself. You have to market, sell yourself as a viable, skilled, ambitious potential candidate. So there's lots of parts of that jigsaw to make it fit so that you can win and you can wow the interviewer away so you get that job offer and you get that phone call. We'd like you to accept this offer. So stand out from the rest. Be very targeted. Now, you can't, by radical career change, you cannot go to something really far over. You have to have some of the skills or the transferable skills and the soft skills, the hard skills to be able to transfer. You don't have to have them all, but express in all your communications with a potential employer that you are willing to learn, you are willing to embrace education, you want to learn new skills. And there's so many venues for you to learn new skills today. So anybody got any questions, please put them in the comment below. Anything not just to do with today's topic, a radical career change, is it possible? Anything to do with career management, I'm more than happy to answer it as we go through this Tuesdays at 2. I am here for you to share my vast knowledge for your benefit. So yes, it's very, very hard to convince an employer that to take you on if you haven't got the skills, at least 50 to 60, 70% of the skills, but you can transition. So do your due diligence. Look around and think about, well, I want to shift career, but what skill sets do I have, both soft skills and hard skills do I have that I can make a change into a different industry or a different profession? So you need to do a lot of brainstorming. That's where maybe a career coach can help you, or a buddy, somebody that knows you, somebody that's followed your career, maybe a relative, although relatives probably have got another agenda, maybe steer clear of relatives. But you need to discuss it openly with other people within your unit, not just within your family unit, but your business unit, your surrounding, your network. So make sure that they understand your skills and see if they can help you come up with ideas. It's ideation. There's lots of the more people you have in your fold, the more champions you have, the more ideas will come. So Aldo's got a question here. Let me just have a look. Aldo always comes every week, and he comes with some great questions. And thank you very much, Aldo. So Aldo says, I found people exaggerate often about their skills, and when I interviewed them, I felt disappointed and disqualified them. Sadly, people oversell themselves, and they embellish, and sometimes they tell lies. So yeah, it's good that you can recognize that in an interview, because unfortunately some people don't recognize that. They don't drill them, they don't interview them, they don't scrutinize, do their due diligence on them, and they get let in that door. And then when they're let in that door, they find that they haven't really got all the skill sets that they portrayed in their resume or their LinkedIn profile. So that's also where, although that you being inquisitive when you go to the stage, when you're considering an offer, and when you go to their references, that's where you, Aldo, as a business leader, you ask probing questions. And don't hold back on those probing questions, because hiring costs a lot of money. A bad hire can run into tens of thousands of dollars. So don't hold back. Be very specific, because you don't want a bad hire. But it's good if you can screen them out before they get to that reference process, because then you've got other candidates, hopefully, that you can interview, and hopefully they are all have got the qualifications that you are asking for. So do your due diligence. Do a lot of research. Well, where's my passion? Where is my ambition? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do in 10 or 15 years? So think about maybe how I'm going to get there. And then with your colleagues, your friends, your buddies, your coach, work out a plan. So interview people in that profession where you want to go. So LinkedIn is going to be your best friend. It's an amazing tool, amazing website, amazing platform that you can do a lot of due diligence. So if you want to go from here to there, then you need to look up people who are there. So if you want to go from a financial planner to an accountant, then you need to look up accountants to network with, or vice versa. So you need to start networking in that environment, get some of their time, and ask them, well, how do you find it today? Do you enjoy it? Lot of probing questions. And then part of that networking, or part of that investigation, informational interviews, could lead to a fully fledged proper interview, and you could be in the door pretty damn quick. But so just, it does happen, but it can be a very, very long and frustrating process. Anybody got any other questions to ask? Please put them in the comment below, and I'm more than happy to answer them at this Tuesdays at 2. So you need to look at people who are already in that particular profession or in that particular function, and then you need to ask them some probing questions. So all those come together with another question here. Great, Aldo, thank you very much. How do you shine above others without exaggerating? What would you recommend? Aldo, you are a salesperson. Everybody, doesn't matter who they are, what function they're in, whether it's supply chain, finance, sales, marketing, or any other function. You are always a salesperson. You are selling, Aldo, in your case. So you need to think, well, what is my sales proposition? What is the value I can bring, whether it be in your own profession, or as we're talking about today at Tuesdays at 2, maybe another profession or another sector. What is it you can bring, that the value you can bring that separates you from all the other candidates? So how can I shine above others without exaggerating? Never exaggerate. You're going to be found out in it, probably. Well, you alluded to that in your previous question. You're going to be found out about lying or exaggerating when you go to the interview stage, hopefully by either the interviewer or the panel interviews. And if there's several interviews, then that really drills down, and they will find out. So hopefully that's answered your question. Anybody got any other questions? Please put them in the comments below. So education. So if you want to transfer from here to there, but you've got education in here, but you want to go to there, you perhaps need to think about, well, what is the education? What are the academic qualifications, whether they be a degree, whether they be a diploma, whether they be a certification or a designation within that particular function? You need to look at those, and then you need to assess them. Well, have I got it in my budget? Do I have the right attitude to go back to school? Because going back to school, whether it be online or whether it be in person, can be very trying, particularly the older you get. So you need to think about, well, what designations, what degrees will I need to help me facilitate going from this function, this sector, to this sector over here. And it can be done. But getting education in your new area really enhances your candidacy. So think about education. Now, I specialize, one of my specialties is EMBA, so Executive Master of Business Administration. So I'm a global expert in managing and advancing EMBAs. But I would highly recommend, and I work for across many business schools across the world, I would highly recommend, if you've got it in your budget, you've got that wherewithal, you've got that drive, that ambition. If you are thinking about moving professions or sectors, an EMBA, so an executive MBA, not an MBA, will bring you huge value because your learning will be broadened big time. So I'm a great believer in EMBAs, Executive Master of Business Administration, but there are other degrees. There are many other degrees and designations and diplomas and certificates that you can take. And it doesn't always mean that you have to actually attend in person today. You can do a lot of this stuff online. Most EMBAs, so I'm going to tell you, you do need to do in person. They can be local or they can be international. And if you're going international, the more money they cost because of travel and hotels and all sorts of different things that come into play there. But I'm a great believer in EMBA, so Executive Master of Business Administration. Anybody got any questions? Please put them in the comment below. I'm more than happy to answer them. Here's another one from Aldo. Well, great, Aldo. You're on a roll today. So Aldo says, in changing careers, what are the critical elements to consider in transferring skills that will qualify from one career to another? Oh, that's a very good and that's a very broad question. I wished I could narrow it down because each function or each sector deserves a different skill set. So I can't really say, although, where you want to go, but what critical elements to consider in transferring skills that will qualify from one career to another. You should always be on a continuous learning exercise anyway. I'm a great believer, doesn't matter whether you go to a degree, a fully fledged degree, or a minor course, a 1 week course, or even a couple of days. You should always be on a learning. So think about, well, if I'm going to go over here, I'm going to go over there. What are they looking for? And where in the college system or the university system, where can I take something that will enhance my candidacy? So think about your skills now and think about your skills that are wanted if you are transitioning. There's no shortcuts to this. Excuse me. There's no shortcuts to Hang on just one second here. There we go. There's no shortcuts to job search. And also I'm going to be very specific. I'm going to be very honest here. Sometimes it can be luck. You can be in the right place at the right time. You can have the right network, and you can meet somebody off work hours at a social gig, a social environment, your faith gathering, your church, or your synagogue, or your temple, or other activities with your kids. You can meet somebody who can be influential in your career, but never ever miss out on networking opportunities. So it takes time. So commit yourself. If you decide you want to go from one function to another function, another career, another sector, another industry, think about, plan it out, and have some champions there to support you and rally you on. Because the more people that rally you on and say, yes, you can do it, the better it's going to be for you. So commit to an aggressive, very proactive job search. Now, let me just bring in executive recruiters. Now, if you are going up the ladder in your own function, your own sector, then executive recruiters will want to know you. And if you go to my YouTube channel, you can see many previous Tuesdays at 2 where I've talked about how an executive recruiter can help you manage and advance your career. But if you are going to go to over here or you're going to go over there, I'm going to tell you, to be honest, an executive recruiter generally won't want to work with you. They don't. It's not that they don't want to know you. It's that they can't place you. They can't find a place for you because their candidates, their clients at the other end will insist that every candidate that is presented to them it's already in that function, that sector. So if you are transitioning, then an executive recruiter to my professional opinion, is a waste of time. So I would steer clear of recruiters, executive recruiters, if you are going to go change professions and change industries. But the crux of everything, career success, generally, whether you're going up or whether you're going across, is networking. You cannot suffice on networking. You cannot exist. Your career will flounder if you don't network. And I mean networking while you're gainfully employed, not just while you're in career transition. So to end this, you then have to think about the sales tools that I have to transition a radical career change. So your resume, your CV has to be extra powerful, impactful. It has to sell yourself as a viable candidate. Now, a resume documents your career history. Show that career history in this particular function, this particular industry, to its optimum. And then a cover letter written in the personal pronoun, the word I, my, he, or she, can tell the reader at the other end why you want to transition. There's going to be a reason why, and stick to that reason and show that reason, articulate that reason. So you need an extra perfect, a 120% impactful ATS 2022, not 2020, 2019. You need to have a 2022 ATS, applicant tracking system friendly resume. Make sure it's on board and that wows the people at the other end, and then your cover letter also wows them. So you need to have your resume, your CV, to seduce them into wanting to pick up the phone and give you a call. Coupled with that, you need to have a fully complete, very articulate, and very impactful, again, LinkedIn profile. Don't have a basic skeleton profile, as I call it. If you want to transition, it's like anything. The more you put into it, the more effort will come, the more rewards will come your way. So remember that each block of text on LinkedIn is Google friendly, and the more text you have on your LinkedIn, the more people will find you when they're looking for talent like you. And occasionally, once in a while, they do look for talent outside that um, regular function. So they may look for something else to bring into that function. So it is possible. It is possible to change careers, but you have to plan your attack. It's not going to happen overnight. So hopefully everybody's got some good fodder for food for thought here. Now I just want to reflect on my 100 episodes. When I first started this a long time ago, long time ago, I was nervous. I had never appeared on live streaming. I've been on a couple of pre-recorded podcasts, but never been live to you, the audience, on 3 different platforms. And from next week, I'm going on 4 different platforms. I'm going to add Twitter. It was kind of scary to me. So I was umming and ahhing and whatever. But yeah, I've shared 100 different topics. Yes, many have overlapped because that's the nature of where I am. I have focus on certain things like your resume, your LinkedIn profile, personal branding, selling yourself, etc. But I hopefully have been influential in helping many people. I know several people after I finish it, wrap each one up Tuesdays at 2, they email me personally and they say that they benefited. And then I ask some probing questions. Well, what did you learn? What did you learn from today's topic? And it's quite interesting how many people do learn something that I thought that was quite regular, but was an eye opener, very thought provoking moment to them. So my reflection on 100 episodes is I hope I have helped many people in the last 100 episodes, and I hope I will help many more people in the next 100 episodes that will help you manage your career. You manage your career, not your employer. So take charge now. And in a recession, if we slip towards a recession, that can be fatal if you don't manage your career. You need to embrace career management, because those who haven't embraced career management in a recession, if they are laid off, they are caught stranded. So hopefully I've helped many people. I know many people have emailed me and say thank you for what you shared, but I know hopefully there's a hidden audience out there, both in the live and also the replays on my LinkedIn profile. So if you are interested in finding more videos, please go to my YouTube channel. I have an extensive YouTube channel. Press the subscribe button, press the bell button, where you will be notified of all future videos to come. And anybody want a free, no obligation resume critique, CV critique, I'm more than happy to give that, or a free LinkedIn audit. I will go through your LinkedIn audit from top to bottom, and I will tell you what I professionally think you need to add to get that impact, and whether somebody who's helping you, who's looking for you right now, there's people looking for you on your LinkedIn profile right this minute, whether they can find you. Because if they can't find you, then LinkedIn is hopeless. Okay, so there's various YouTube I've got on my YouTube channel, videos on my YouTube channel that talk about how to optimize your LinkedIn channel, your LinkedIn profile, how to write your CV, how to write your resume. So that about wraps it up. I'm looking forward to coming back next week for number 101, and then we start the next 100. So hopefully the next 100 will be just as captivating as this 100. So next week's topic, let me just have a look to see what it is. It's I last updated my resume CV 2 years ago. I last updated my resume, my CV, 2 years ago. You need to update your resume far more frequently. Come back next Tuesday at 2 when I will tell you why you need to update. Have a great week, and I will see you next week at Tuesdays at 2.